everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, November 17, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Interestingly enough, when we are, say you have an off day or something sparks dissatisfaction. And so you kind of go into not a great mood. Now, in the event that you do not know about who and what you are, then you're going to stand there while that downturn, so to speak, in vibrational frequency. This is why it's so imperative that we discover more and more about who and what we are in these bodies, because then you're able to shift out of that very rapidly, right? You get a negative mood. We all do. None of us are cherry pie all the time. So you shift out of a negative mood, and you recognize and realize and honor the fact that you are the one creating and perpetuating this bad mood. Now, of course, there are those of us who will argue that fact because, again, they're protecting the ego mind. But it's true. Something, that happens that causes us to get upset, right? So you get negative. Now we feed that, and we don't do it on purpose. It's not like I'm going to feed this negativity. We feed it because we really don't know about who and what we are. We don't know we're that powerful. Now, on the flip side, let's say that you're like halfway there, because since, like I say, we talk about this on the meditations and the guided part, is that when we talk about it, and so you know at least the fact that you are not the body, and that you're a pure consciousness God within the body. And you know that you are an omnipotently powerful supreme being that never dies. So you go into the negative, but yet then you say, wait a minute. I can shift out of this anytime I choose. You say to yourself, do I care to shift out of it? Absolutely. I don't really care to be in this mode, because then that sends out 360 degrees around me and affects everything around me. So I've chosen to go into heart-mind, into the now. And then I also choose to focus on my gratitude in the very moment. What am I grateful for? What can I be grateful for? And it shifts. It shifts you out of that, because guess why? Because you have acknowledged and are doing it. You're the one initiating it, because you're the only one that can. It's if someone comes by and you're kind of down in the dumps, and they make you laugh because you decided to laugh, right? Or someone comes by and kind of leaves you blah. You decided to be blah. Now, none of us were taught that at all, of course, so we don't know that. But as, inch by inch, we're discovering that everything we do, and there's a little bit of argument about that, because, there's things that come in that we don't know about. Oh, well, sure there is. we create those things. The gods that we are create those things through the body that we don't know about. Why? Spicy stuff. Yeah? Makes life a lot more interesting. Plus, we experience it. And it's like I've said before, you imagine if all we did was manifest, cream puff, marshmallow clouds every day, 24/7. It'd be fun at first. But then, see, we would like to have certain things that grip us and that we learn from, rather than just cakewalking, with no abrasiveness or nothing coming in challenging us. And this is why we do it. There isn't anything that any of us, in this very moment, cannot create. That's it, across the board. Why do you think so much effort has been made on this little planet to suppress our memories and our awareness? And have them finding out who and what they are. Then we're toast. So this is why so much effort has been spent over and over and over and over again. Because we are omnipotently powerful supreme beings that never die. We're plugged into all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We're really plugged into it. We just have not opened the door to it. That means everyone. Right? It's like, you're saying, well, how come they can fly and I can't? Well, you can. You just don't know it yet. You haven't identified it. You haven't embraced it. You can see how much doubt we have in this life. We carry a lot of doubt. We question things and then we doubt things because they're unfamiliar to us. I mean, you come walking along and there's a group of people and they're bungee jumping off a bridge. You know what that is? You have these kind of rubberized lines, and of course you're secured and everything, and you jump off and you bounce. You go, you head to the ground, and you come close to the ground. It's adventure seekers. And so one says, well, why don't you try this? Now, if you were heart-minded, it would be like, yeah, sure, it's no big deal, I'll try it. This sounds like a lot of fun. But ego-minded is like, well, what if it breaks? How do you know it's that secure? Has anybody died recently using these? You see what happens there? That happens in our lives, where we start doubting things. We don't have trust in ourselves, so we don't have trust in anything else. When you stop having trust in yourself, you stop having trust in anything else. You will doubt it, okay? You don't have 100% trust in yourself or anything else because you doubt it. If you went up to somebody and you said, hey, did you know that you are an omnipotently supreme, powerful being that never dies in that body? Well, it would be interesting to see how people respond. You really don't care how they respond. And if you said to someone, you create everything, there's nothing outside of you that creates. That's what's interesting. Because we all make up creation. If you're looking at something, right? Could be anything. Your eyes wander off, scenery, whatever it is. And you go, well, that's really cool. I really like that. Then you say, that's the God that I am. It's a whole different feeling. Okay? It's a whole different experience. But we were taught separation, of course. So when you look at something, you just look at it as it's separate from you. And the truth of it is that it isn't. Nothing is. What about a frog, a tree frog? Is it separate from you? No. It is not. But see, how we've been programmed, that's how we believe. It pretty much is the norm. When you look at something, you say, like I've used the example, isn't that beautiful? Whatever it may be you're looking at, right? Breathtaking. Absolutely spectacular. And that's separation. Because that's not you, that's different, that's out there. Now, when you come full circle and you start to comprehend the fact that whatever it is you're looking at, sun setting on a beachfront or mountains, snow-capped mountains or whatever it may be, you're saying that's the God that I am. If you say that that's whatever it is, isn't that, look at that, isn't that beautiful? You're missing the whole thing. More and more of us will begin to discover that all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever is what we are, is what everything is. There's no separation. We're not separate. Yeah, okay, so the forms are different because we create those forms. Collective consciousness creates those forms. Why? It's entertaining, isn't it? I mean, if we were all packed in and we were just looking at each other all the time, 24/7, right? It'd get pretty old. So we add flavor and color, excitement with different things, landscaping and everything. We adjust and create planetary systems. And some of us go into those planets and experience what it's like to be a planet, to be in a planet, okay? What it's like to experience, to provide all the life that's on or in that planet. See, we never stop. We are always experiencing something. This is how we become such master creators. And it's very exciting because once you start to embrace that and how you view things are totally different than what you were taught and programmed on how to view things. Slowly but surely, we begin to master the ego mind. And how do we do that? Well, we leave it alone. Well, how do you leave it alone? You move into the now. It's through meditation. It's like we've been doing almost 7 years every day, 365 days a year, these meditations. And more of the global population is starting to realize that what? It takes a long time. See, it's not, you just don't do meditations for a few weeks and it's affect the entire planet. It takes a while. And so people start to begin to realize on their own choosing that they start saying, this body is, I'm not this body. I understand that this body is important. It's highly valued because it carries what I really am, consciousness. Is what it carries. And that consciousness is part of all consciousness. So it doesn't miss anything. It's like we say, you're the universe and the universe is you, which is true. Because you hold the essence of the universe. Like the ocean. One might say, well, what about all the other connecting universe? What about all the metaverses? What about all this stuff? Is it us? It is us as the pure consciousness gods that we are. See, God is a description of pure consciousness. Okay? It's like Christ consciousness is a description of enlightenment. Buddha consciousness is a description of enlightenment, where one masters the ego mind and resides in the heart mind. It's not a name of somebody, okay? It's a title. And so as we traverse this planet and this life, as we've done so many thousands of times before, this is the first time of such a expansive spiritual awakening. And the more that you move into your pure consciousness, the God that you are, the more you begin to discover as you watch and observe, see, because in the heart mind, there is no judgment of oneself or others at all. So you watch things. This is how you master the ego mind, because you watch what it does. You're not participating in it, but you're watching what it does. And this is how we learn. And it teaches us. Great teacher. And then we eventually know what it seeks. It seeks what? What does it seek? Peace. It doesn't know what peace is, so it thinks, well, I'm gonna look out there. That's where peace is, out there. And unfortunately, it never finds peace, because we don't know who and what we are, so we can't master it to give it peace. It will discover peace. That's what we all look for. We look for peace, tranquility, happiness, joy, bliss. Kind of flowing, easygoing. That's on one hand. On the other hand, the majority of us are in this foot race. That every lifetime, we're in this foot race. And so we call it the rat race. And everybody's in it, to a certain extent. And what are they doing? Well, they're all looking, right? They're not looking to their right or to their left. All they're doing is trying to look over the heads of all the others. Trying to figure out, where are we going? Well, everybody's going there, right? So everybody in the rat race knows that they're going somewhere. They're not sure where, but they're going there because everybody's going there. It's kind of like pack leader. They don't know who's at the head, who's at the front of the line at all. They're not concerned about that. All they know is that everybody's going there. So it must be good since everybody's going there. And this involves the ego mind drive, which is, I've got to have this, and I've got to be important, and I've got to succeed and climb the ladder of success and be important and unique and powerful. And it's just the ego mind. That's the path of the ego mind. That's what it is. Now, when we leave it alone, when we leave the mind alone, and we're in meditation, and in meditation we focus, we get into a comfortable position. For us, everybody's different. We get in a comfortable position. We have no outside interference, no barking dogs or, children that are anxious, anything like that, or TV blaring. And we relax into our body. This is the only true way to relax. Relax into the body. And as you relax into the body, you become very still, okay, like a statue. And you focus on your breath. That's it. You're focused on the breath rising and falling. Some people look at the space between heartbeats, and you just be. Now, the interesting thing about this is that The ego mind's not there. Not there. And all of the stuff that we experience with ego mind is not there. And just by being. So it's like, if you truly want to manifest something that to you is phenomenal, right? That's where you do it. That's where you do it. Not 50 different things. One precise, detailed request. That's where you do it. You know why? Because you don't have doubt there. You don't have any fear there. You don't have any anxiety there. You have it right there in that now. Focused on your breath rising and falling, relaxing into the body, being as still as a statue. None of that's there. That we live, that we are in and accept every waking hour. Now, one could say, oh, I've mastered my ego mind. Right? It doesn't take long to figure out that they haven't even come close to doing that. Which isn't a negative. It's like I said, this isn't a race. It's not like the rat race. Now, when you start to embrace this path because you want to. It's not like you're sitting there going, oh, I better do this. You say, no, I want this. I want to know this. Everything begins to change, shift. Your perspective on this life. You're focused on what you want, and you can stop from the ego mind pulling you in the other direction, focusing on what you don't want. It's easy for us to do, because guess what? This is what we've been conditioned to do. Focus on what we don't want. We've done it so long in so many lifetimes, and we don't even know we're doing it. Until maybe you say, wait a minute here. I'm focusing on things I don't want. Why would I do that? That's crazy. That's why these things come into my life. That's why I experience the things that aren't pleasant for me. Because I'm focusing so much on what I don't want. Why wouldn't I put my energy into the direction of focusing on what I want? And you can shift it, because once you become aware, you'll know. So it's not a big deal. Okay, so I'm an ego mind. I'm focusing on what I don't want. Oh, so I don't care to do that. I'm going to focus on what I want. In the now. This is the nucleus of our happiness in these bodies on this planet at this time. So many of us have been programmed to believe that we can't do these things, that we aren't capable of doing these things. Right? Oh, I've tried that and it doesn't work. It's crap. That's purely ego mind. It's like when someone gets angry, let's say they're angry at you. Could be anything. Anything could have sparked it. Just remember, I look at it as love under pressure. That's what it is. When people get angry, it's because they're angry with themselves, and that goes outside of them and affects others. Isn't that crazy? How many times have you been in a situation where something so little, so dinky, so really insignificant sets you off? And, your day just kind of goes into the toilet because of that one little thing. Rather than going, it's not a big deal, oh, so what? You let go. It's another tough thing for all of us is to let go. Is that we don't really care to let go because we've gotten so comfortable with what we're holding on to and experiencing all the time in this life and what we've been programmed with. Someone comes along or you start getting these thoughts where you say, you don't have to do this. And then, why am I doing this? What is it? Is it for my greater good? If it's not for my greater good, why am I putting energy into it? And why do I keep dragging it along with me in this life? Doesn't it make sense that we would once we become aware enough, we put our energies that are going to benefit us, right? Where we feel good and we feel we are happy. No matter what happens outside of us, we're happy. So you know what? Because of that, we change outside of us to be the same as inside of us. So if you're happy within, then you'll be happy outside. And that will affect other people. It's like a cascading effect on the entire civilization. It doesn't mean that they're cognizant of the fact that they feel good. They don't know why they feel good. They're in the company of someone who just happened to know these things. And people benefit from those who are aware of who and what they are. We're all one, right? So it affects everybody around you. I guarantee you, if you're in a bad mood, it's going to affect everybody around you. If you're in a good mood, it's going to affect everybody around you. So what do you believe you would choose, more on a consistent basis, to be? Your natural state of being, which is to be good, feel good. We have no reason not to feel good. The reason we start feeling bad is because we're constantly focused on what we don't want, and so we do manifest those things. Why do we have stress? Ego-mind control, ego-mind supervision. We have stress. Stress turns into bio-organic issues with these bodies. Eventually. It doesn't happen, you're stressful for a day and you have something happen. No, it builds through time. And we store it, and then something breaks with the body. Now, would we have stress at all, if any, existing in the heart-mind? Pretty easy answer, isn't it? No, we wouldn't. Would we experience stress, anxiety, fear? No, we would not. Why? Because we're in communion with our pure consciousness of what we truly are, the God. We are not in communion with the ego mind. Most of us on this planet at this very now moment are in communion with the ego mind. But they don't, not yet, they don't comprehend the fact is that they're doing it. Okay? But once they start to become aware that it is the ego mind, and there's no anger or anything there. They discovered it. That's a good thing. Wonderful. So then they begin to realize how to master the ego mind. It isn't a fixation or expectation or attachment. They begin to learn that, okay, I step into the now, ego mind's not there. I step into yesterday and tomorrow, that's the ego mind's realm. Those are crucial. You know how many millions upon millions and billions of years we have not discovered that? And in this point in time, we have discovered it. Imagine that the civilization of this planet, this particular species, is in heart-mind. And then the so-called leadership of the planet tries to convince the civilization that they must be combative against one another. Right? How long, what do you think, what would happen there? it would just vaporize. It wouldn't gain anything. It would be gone. Knowing who and what we are is why we're here, to discover that and to enjoy these lives. Now, a lot of us have experienced things, right? And they weren't. Let's just say they weren't fun, okay? And then we reflect back on it and say to ourselves, am I grateful for that experience? That's what it is. And you created that experience to learn. Am I grateful for it? And you know what happens 9 times out of 10? You say to yourself, absolutely, I wouldn't trade it for all the tea in China. Because it helped me in certain ways. And it's still helping me. That's why adversity that we create for ourselves is such a wonderful thing. You imagine having someone who just cakewalk through life. Everything given to them, okay? No challenges really at all. And all of a sudden, that's all pulled out from underneath them, and then they're experiencing the opposite of that. That would be hugely impactful, wouldn't it? Would they survive? It's a toss of the coin. Every moment that we're in these bodies is a miracle. Every breath we take is a miracle. Everything we see with these eyes is a miracle. Everything we hear, everything we touch is a miracle. And each and every one of us is a miracle. Every waking moment. All of us deserve the best of everything across the board. Really do. Not just a select few, but everyone. And that's just more programming anyway. Believing there's classes and there's this class and this level and this is here, and judging is ego mind purely. That's all it is. If you judge, you are in the control of the ego mind. It's not negative. It's a great discovery, though. If you begin to judge something, and there's times where the ego mind wants you to judge. It pulls at you. And then you just sit there and go, I'm not interested in judging anything. Everything's perfect exactly the way it is. You could be in a moment and you say to yourself, I'm deeply grateful for the very moment I'm in. Do you know why? Because the next moment could be totally different. The next moment you may not be in that body. That's why, in the moment, deep gratitude. That's why we practice it. Every time you fall into a negative mood, you choose to release your negative mood in returning to the source of who and what you spiritually are. Truly, who and what you are. You know you're not the name. You know you're not what others think of you. Or just this physical body, which is, meat, blood, emotional bones. And if we believe that we are our thoughts, then ask yourself, who and what is watching and listening to them go by? If something is, who's the watcher? The watcher is the real you. You are not any of these thoughts. None of them. Period. You just became too close to your thoughts and got overly identified with them. And the very moment your thoughts, the very moment we return to who and what we are, this pure conscious witness who abides at the source of the thought, then we are home free. Always relax deeply into your body so that there is no tension hiding inside you anywhere. When we can fully relax inside, we become deeply aware beings again. It's easy to see how insignificant and fleeting thoughts actually are. You ever notice something? One moment it's there, one moment it's not? When your body is relaxed, we can see how fleeting each thought is and how easy it is to completely change them. Join you in meditation. I'll return to close out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath, rising and falling, relaxed into the body. Live from your heart. Your heart holds a deeper truth that the mind cannot fully grasp. It always brings you back to peace. Let go of the busy mind. Relax into the purity of your heart. Living from your heart aligns you with the natural flow of this universe. This is where miracles unfold effortlessly. Today, shift from trying to control life to simply feeling the flow of it. The heart never fears or resists. It embraces everything with trust and the perfection of each moment. When you live from the heart, really live from the heart, you realize that everyone you meet is a reflection of your own divine light. Trust the gentle whispers of your heart. They are guiding you back to the real you. Feel the soft wonderfulness of your heart today. And you'll find all the peace, love, and joy you've been seeking is already within. Life is much simpler than it seems. It flows through you with every beat, every rhythm, and every pulse. And just for today, let your heart overflow with kindness and warmth onto everyone you meet. Focus on the light within you and open your heart wide, radiating your love onto each soul that crosses your path. Allow them to see and feel your light through your smile and the gentle radiance in your eyes. Shine your sacred light into them until you see the divine reflected back in their smile and eyes. Your love has the power to awaken that spark of clarity and truth in those who may be struggling or lost. Your love is a powerful, healing presence, capable of softening every heart and dissolving all illusions of separation. Notice how all suffering transforms in the presence of your light and love, revealing your greatest joy for you and for them. Knowing this light is infinite within you will give you the courage to share it freely with this world. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here Monday, November 18, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on out there or within you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.